You're watching a Highwire Media podcast. The origins of Kolmanskop trace back to a fateful discovery in 1908 when a railway worker named Zacharias Luola unearthed a glittering stone while maintaining tracks in Namibia's desolate desert. Little did he know that this discovery would ignite one of the most significant diamond rushes in history. As he reported the find to his German supervisor, word spread quickly, and soon prospectors flooded into the area, eager to stake their claim. What had been an arid, barren landscape was suddenly transformed into a hive of frenzied activity, driven by the promise of instant wealth. In just a few short years, Kolmanskop evolved from an empty expanse of sand into a bustling settlement that defied its harsh surroundings. The sudden influx of fortune seekers brought with them not only tents and makeshift shelters, but ambitious plans for permanent structures. The settlement soon boasted an array of impressive buildings designed in an opulent European style, a stark contrast to the vast, unforgiving desert that encircled it. Sturdy homes, a grand ballroom, a hospital equipped with advanced medical technology, and even an ice factory that provided the rare luxury of cold drinks and frozen treats. Kolmanskop was no ordinary mining town. It embodied the spirit of excess fueled by seemingly limitless diamond wealth. Kolmanskop reached its peak. Images from this era captured a surreal portrait of prosperity. The town's cobblestone streets were lined with bustling marketplaces filled with traders and merchants selling imported goods. Schools provided education for children of miners, ensuring that even in such an isolated location, the veneer of European sophistication remained intact. The town's residents, a mix of affluent European families and skilled workers, lived lavish lifestyles that included music performances, formal dances, and evenings at the theater. Meanwhile, the presence of the first X-ray machine in the southern hemisphere within Kolmanskop's hospital highlighted both the wealth and forward thinking of the community. This rapid transformation from a quiet, lifeless stretch of desert to a gleaming beacon of wealth underscored the powerful allure of diamonds. Kolmanskop was more than just a settlement. It was an ambitious statement to the world that where diamonds were found, luxury and civilization would follow, no matter how inhospitable the land is. Yet beneath the glittering surface lay the seeds of a story that would eventually shift from opulence to desolation as the boomtown's days of prosperity were numbered. Kolmanskop's architecture was an astonishing spectacle, a striking testament to human ambition amidst the stark emptiness of the desert. European-style buildings were constructed with attention to detail and an air of sophistication that seemed inconceivable in such an isolated location. The town featured grand houses with spacious verandas, intricate carvings, and elaborate facades, reminiscent of German towns, complete with wood paneling and expansive windows that welcomed in the desert's glaring sunlight. The grandest of these structures housed not just families, but a ballroom that became the social epicenter for residents. This space hosted lively gatherings where music, laughter, and the rhythms of waltzes and polkas echoed through the desert nights. The theater, an equally grand structure, brought a taste of European culture to the town's residents, showcasing plays and musical performances that offered an escape from the dusty, relentless landscape outside. Kolmanskop's commitment to luxury extended beyond its architecture. The town was equipped with cutting-edge facilities that would have been considered advanced even by urban European standards. The ice factory was a true marvel, turning a necessity into a luxury by supplying the residents with ice, a priceless commodity in the unforgiving heat. The ability to sip chilled beverages and store perishable goods set Kolmanskop apart from a typical mining settlement of its time. However, perhaps the most telling symbol of the town's affluence was its hospital, which housed the first X-ray machine in the southern hemisphere. While this advanced equipment primarily served the community's medical needs, tales circulated about its use for detecting stolen diamonds concealed by miners. This innovation illustrated not only the town's wealth, but the constant vigilance that accompanied life in a settlement so focused on its priceless resource. Yet, for all its grandeur, Kolmanskop's prosperity came with a clear social divide that dictated every aspect of life in the town. European elites, who controlled the diamond operations and reaped the lion's share of the profits, lived in opulent houses adorned with imported furniture and decorative items. Their days were filled with leisure, social events, and dinners featuring delicacies shipped from afar. The elite women of Kolmanskop wore the latest European fashions, and their children attended well-kept schools that promised a semblance of normalcy in a future tied to the wealth around them. In stark contrast were the African workers who played an indispensable role in Kolmanskop's rise, yet lived a world apart from the comforts enjoyed by the elites. They were housed in basic, cramped quarters at the outskirts of the town, a sharp reminder of their lower status. Their labor was arduous and dangerous, involving long hours under the blistering sun as they extracted diamonds that funded the grandeur of the settlement. Despite their essential contributions, they were often subjected to strict oversight and had limited rights or access to the luxuries that surrounded them. The X-ray machine, a symbol of advanced medical care for some, also underscored this disparity when repurposed as a tool of suspicion against the very workers who dug for precious stones. This social stratification fostered a sense of dual existence within Kolmanskop. While European residents thrived in a bubble of cultured excess, complete with ballroom dances and theater shows, the workers bore the weight of maintaining that wealth in conditions that mirrored the desert's harshness. The tension between opulence and exploitation was palpable, and ultimately part of what made Kolmanskop's history so compelling. The echoes of fine music drifting from grand halls, juxtaposed with the silent endurance of laborers, created an environment as complex and layered as the desert sands that would one day reclaim the town. The downfall of Kolmanskop was as dramatic as its meteoric rise, driven by the relentless pursuit of wealth and the equally unyielding power of nature. By the late 1920s, the once rich diamond deposits that had transformed this patch of desert into a thriving boomtown were becoming depleted. The initial flurry of fortune had rapidly extracted the area's richest veins. And as the gem quality and quantity diminished, the economic heartbeat of Kolmanskop began to falter. The town, which had gleamed with the promise of wealth, found itself grappling with an inevitable decline. The very resource that had given Kolmanskop life was now slipping away, and with it, the town's prosperity. The discovery of even richer diamond fields further south, near the mouth of the Orange River, accelerated Kolmanskop's decline. These new areas offered deposits that were not only more abundant, but easier and more cost-effective to mine. The diamond companies, ever focused on maximizing profits, shifted their operations to these new fields, diverting resources and manpower away from Kolmanskop. What had once been the center of activity and ambition is now a fading relic as miners, families, and businesses migrated southward in the search of better prospects. The shift left Kolmanskop with little purpose. Without the continuous flow of diamonds to sustain it, the settlement began to wither. By the 50s, Kolmanskop's fate was sealed. Final residents packed their belongings, leaving behind homes that only a few years prior had been bustling with life. The exodus marked the end of an era, and as the people left, the desert slowly crept back to reclaim its territory. Sandstorms began to push dunes through broken windows and open doorways, coating once polished floors with layers of fine golden grit. Over time, entire rooms filled with sand, transforming parlors and ballrooms into surreal scenes of decay and silence. The grand architecture, once a testament to human ingenuity and extravagance, became monuments to the desert's quiet power. The process of abandonment was gradual but unrelenting. Paint peeled away from the walls, furniture succumbed to the elements, and ceilings collapsed under the weight of shifting sands. The town's hospital, the ice factory, and the stately theater, now ghostly husks, echoed stories of prosperity that were buried inch by inch. The desert was both a destroyer and a preserver. While it overtook the town with a quiet, remorseless march, it also sealed it in time, creating a frozen moment of an era defined by ambition and fleeting wealth. What remains of Kolmanskop today are structures steeped in echoes of the past, haunted by the memory of the laughter that once filled its ballrooms and the hum of life that animated its streets. The story of its decline is not just a tale of economic downturn, but a stark reminder of nature's patience and ultimate dominance. Kolmanskop serves as a poignant illustration of human impermanence, a testament to the reality that the desert, indifferent and enduring, would always reclaim its own. Walking through Kolmanskop today feels like stepping into a dream suspended between two worlds, one of bygone opulence and another of silent decay. The most striking feature that greets visitors is the sand that has infiltrated every corner of this forgotten town. Rooms that once held elegant furniture and the cheerful echoes of conversation are now filled knee-deep with sand, as if the desert is attempting to reclaim its lost territory, grain by grain. Peeling paint curls off the walls in delicate tendrils, exposing the brittle wood beneath. And shattered glass crunches underfoot as sunlight streams through broken windows, casting jagged, shifting shadows. The air is heavy with an eerie stillness, interrupted only by the sigh of the wind pushing more sand into forgotten corners. Despite its desolation, Kolmanskop has found a new kind of fame as a destination for adventurers and artists. Photographers from around the globe are drawn to its haunting beauty, seeking to capture the unique juxtaposition of architectural decay and undulating golden dunes that now rule over the once bustling town. The interplay between the nature and the man-made creates a surreal canvas. Images of doorways half buried in sand and hallways that appear to melt into the desert evoke both wonder and melancholy. For travelers, the sight of a grand piano in a parlor now surrounded by dunes or a bathtub filled with sand is unforgettable. Each scene is a poignant reminder of the passage of time and the impermanence of human ambition. Tourists who wander through Kolmanskop often speak in hushed tones, as if the town's ghostly silence demands reverence. The experience is profound, standing in what was once a place of luxury and industry, now hollow and surrendering to the desert's relentless march. Peeling wallpaper patterned with once vibrant colors now seems like an ancient tapestry, chronicling the town's decline. And as the sun sets, casting long, shifting shadows, Kolmanskop's true nature is revealed, a masterpiece of faded glory that hints at stories untold. Each gust of wind carries whispers that seem to say, "This was once a place of dreams." Every window whispers tales of a past that slipped away, voices carried by the wind that dances through empty halls, and the soft rustle of sand against wooden frames. Here, the boundary between past and present blurs, leaving behind only echoes of what once was. The fascination with Kolmanskop goes beyond its unique aesthetic appeal. It resonates as a symbol of human ambition, overtaken by the raw, enduring forces of nature. This ghost town stands as a stark lesson the reality of man's creations. Its story, preserved in sun-bleached wood and shifting sand, reminds visitors that even the grandest undertakings can be reduced to dust by time and the unforgiving elements. Yet, in this decay, there's a haunting beauty that keeps drawing people back, as if the town, even in silence, still has secrets to share. Kolmanskop's transformation into a ghost town did not just leave behind empty buildings and shifting sand, it also spawned a wealth of legends and whispered tales that continue to fuel curiosity. One of the most persistent rumors is that of hidden treasures buried beneath the sand, diamonds said to have been overlooked or hidden during the frantic days of mining. As the town emptied in the 50s, stories emerged of miners who, aware of Kolmanskop's impending abandonment, secretly stashed small hoards of gems with the hope of retrieving them later. Some say these hidden caches remain untouched, buried deeper with every passing sandstorm, waiting for someone daring enough to dig through the shifting dunes and claim a piece of history. The allure of finding such treasures has drawn treasure hunters over the years. But Kolmanskop guards its secrets well, and no significant finds has ever been reported. Visitors to Kolmanskop often recount experiences that add a ghostly layer to its mystique. Some claim that the desert winds, as they whip through the broken windows and cracked doorways, carry echoes of laughter, snippets of music, or the faint hum of conversations once filled the town's air. These special sounds have given rise to stories of the restless spirits of former residents, still lingering in the ballrooms and homes where they spent their days of fortune. Guides leading tours through the town share accounts of strange occurrences, footsteps heard in empty rooms, doors that creak open as if pushed by unseen hands, cold drafts that feel out of place under the desert sun. Such tales passed down from one generation of guides to the next only deepen the mystery surrounding Kolmanskop and its forgotten past. Historians and researchers drawn to both the documented and legendary aspects of Kolmanskop have shared insights that blur the lines between myth and reality. Interviews and recordings reveal how stories from former residents have helped shape the town's haunting reputation. Some elderly Namibians recall tales told by their parents or grandparents who worked as laborers or servants in the heyday of the diamond boom. They spoke of frantic searches for lost gemstones, disagreements that turned deadly, and miners who became consumed by paranoia, believing the sands themselves harbored an unexplainable power. While many of these stories verge on folklore, the nuggets of truth embedded within them hint at the emotional intensity and tension that pervaded life in Kolmanskop during its most prosperous years. Even scholars who aim to separate fact from fiction find themselves captivated by the town's myths. Documentarians and historians examining Kolmanskop's past sometimes include interviews with descendants of the town's last residents or those who inherited family stories about the settlement. These sources recount ghostly sightings that defy logical explanation and hint at the enduring hold Kolmanskop has on the imagination. For instance, one well-known tale speaks of a former ballroom pianist whose spectral figure is said to appear during twilight, seated at an imaginary piano, fingers moving over keys swallowed by sand. Such stories, though unprovable, underscore the idea that Kolmanskop is more than an abandoned town, the place where history, myth, and mystery blend seamlessly, held together by the relentless grip of the desert that surrounds it. Piecing together the lore of Kolmanskop, what becomes clear is that it's not just the sight of sand-filled rooms, decaying buildings that leave an impact on visitors. It's the whispered stories, the unexplained phenomena, and the hidden hints of a time when the town thrived against all odds. Whether one chooses to believe in lost diamonds waiting to be found or ghosts that wander through silent hallways, Kolmanskop holds onto its reputation as a place where history refuses to rest and mysteries continue to bloom amidst the ever-shifting sands. Preservation efforts have become increasingly important as the town attracts more attention from tourists, photographers, and history enthusiasts. The Namibian government, along with various historical societies, has undertaken initiatives to maintain this iconic ghost town, aiming to balance conservation with the natural processes that make Kolmanskop so unique. These efforts, including reinforcing certain structures to prevent further collapse, apply weather-resistant treatments to key buildings, and organizing regular maintenance to clear accumulated sand from critical areas. The aim is not to restore Kolmanskop to its former glory, but rather to slow its decline enough that future generations can continue to experience its haunting beauty and learn about its rich history. However, preserving Kolmanskop is not without its challenges. The town sits at the mercy of the desert's relentless winds and shifting sands, which threaten to consume buildings at an unrelenting pace. Each year, preservation teams must battle the harsh environmental conditions that seem determined to erase Kolmanskop from existence. The fine, powdery sand seeps into every crevice, exerting pressure on weakened walls and causing painted surfaces to flake and deteriorate. The harsh sunlight which bathes the town during the day exacerbates the decay by cracking and bleaching wood, while the sudden temperature drops at night contribute to the expansion and contraction of building materials, further weakening them over time. One of the most intricate challenges preservations face is the balance between intervention and the town's natural haunting aesthetic. Kolmanskop's appeal lies in its unique state of decay. Rooms half filled with sand, walls that look like they're melting into dunes, and a sense that time itself has stopped. Intervening too aggressively risks altering this delicate balance and diminishing the very qualities that make Kolmanskop a powerful reminder of human impermanence. To address this, preservationists often opt for subtle measures that reinforce buildings while allowing the natural reclamation by the desert to remain evident. This approach ensures the town's character is retained while extending its lifespan as a cultural and historical site. Documentaries and media projects have played an essential role in supporting Kolmanskop's preservation. These productions not only shed a light on the town's history and challenges, but also foster partnerships and financial backing from organizations around the world. Renowned documentary filmmakers have captured Kolmanskop's fragile splendor, emphasizing its importance as a living museum. These films often feature interviews with historians, conservationists, and local guides who speak to the ongoing struggle protecting this relic from complete erosion. The exposure from such documentaries has sparked collaborations between the local government, international heritage groups, leading to funding for conservation projects and increased public awareness. Yet, even with these combined efforts, the future of Kolmanskop remains uncertain. The battle between preservation and nature's powerful forces continues, reminding both local and visitors that the town's survival is as important as the wealth that built it. Kolmanskop stands as a testament to both human ingenuity and nature's uncompromising will, a reminder that while preservation can slow decay, it can never fully halt it. The town's story is still unfolding. With ongoing dedication and care, it may continue to capture imaginations for years to come. Kolmanskop has transcended its origins as a forgotten ghost town to become a global symbol of both human ambition and nature's unyielding reclaiming power. Its skeletal remains, half consumed by the ever-encroaching sands of the desert, stand as haunting monuments to the dazzling prosperity and subsequent decline driven by a singular focus on resource extraction. In its heyday, Kolmanskop was a beacon of rapid development, a testament to what can be achieved in the most hospitable of environments when fueled by the pursuit of wealth. But as the diamond rush dwindled, the town's fortune shifted. It quickly succumbed to abandonment, swallowed back into the sands from which it emerged. Today, Kolmanskop's silent, sand-filled rooms serve as powerful reminders that nature, in the end, reclaims its own, no matter the human footprint left behind. This ghost town's eerie beauty and poignant story have captivated creators from around the world, leading to its appearances in movies, documentaries, and high-profile photography contests. Filmmakers have used Kolmanskop as a backdrop for stories that touch on themes of desolation, history, and the passage of time, reinforcing its image as a place history seems frozen mid-step. Documentaries that explore its rise and fall not only preserve its story, but spark discussions on the broader implications of rapid industrial growth and resource dependency. Photography contests, too, have drawn thousands to capture its surreal scenes, doorways framed by dunes, shattered glass sparkling like forgotten diamonds, peeling paint that appears to drip into waves of sand. These images, widely shared, evoke powerful emotions and fuel the town's reputation as a place where the boundaries between the past and present blur. Kolmanskop teaches profound lessons about the nature of boomtowns and how the volatile dance between resource dependency and economic stability. It exemplifies how societies built on the extraction of finite resources can thrive spectacularly, if briefly, but face dramatic decline once those resources are exhausted. The story of Kolmanskop is not unique. It resonates with the history of other boomtowns worldwide that rose swiftly in response to discoveries of gold, oil, or other valuable commodities, only to fall into obscurity once the initial bounty was depleted. This cycle highlights the risks of economic models that hinge on unsustainable practices and reminds us of the importance of diversifying resources and planning for the future. Furthermore, Kolmanskop stands as a poignant testament to human achievements. The grand ballrooms, once filled with music and opulence, now echo with the soft whisper of sand and the sight of the desert wind. It's a place that urges reflection on the balance between human progress and environmental stewardship. The town's demise showcases the fragility of human-made structures against the relentless force of time and nature. While Kolmanskop was once an example of human ingenuity, defying the odds, it now acts as a sobering visual narrative that warns of the impermanence of such feats and enduring power of the natural world. In the broader cultural context, Kolmanskop has become more than just a tourist attraction. It's a story that speaks to a universal theme of hubris and humility. Its global significance lies in its dual identity as both a monument to what humanity can achieve and a memorial to what it can lose. For historians, artists, and environmentalists, Kolmanskop embodies a cautionary tale about the cost of rapid expansion without sustainable foundations. For the world at large, it serves as a haunting, beautiful reminder that nature, with its patience and power, will always have the final word. But the journey doesn't end here. If the deserted grandeur of Kolmanskop intrigued you, prepare to be captivated by, in 2 weeks, episode where we journey deep into the canals south of Mexico City to uncover the Island of the Dolls, a place where hundreds of doll parts hang eerily from trees. This island holds a story shrouded in mystery and legend. Who placed these dolls there, and what secrets do they guard? Join us as we explore this unsettling yet fascinating destination that promises to chill you to the bone, stir your curiosity. Don't miss it. Now give us your thumbs up if you like our videos, hit the subscribe button down below, hit the bell notification button to be notified of future videos, and of course, give me your thoughts on Kolmanskop in the comment section below. And if you want to support the channel, you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/tcns. Always, your support helps the channel grow, upgrade our equipment, bring new hosts, be able to pay them, and take this show on the road. Your support can help make that happen. As always, you can find us on all major podcast platforms, including Good Pods. And of course, you can check us out on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. As always, thank you so much for watching and listening. We'll see you next time.